The First World War was a long and treacherous battle. The battle went on for 4 years from 1914 to 1918. There was many things leading up to the war that made this battle happen, but the big spark that really got it going was when Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was assassinated. After this happened, on June 28, 1914, all war broke loose. Almost all the countries in the world participated in this battle, but the big figures in this war were separated onto two sides. The Allies made up of Great Britain, France, and Russia, and on the other side of the war, there were the Central Powers, which were Germany, Ottoman Empire, and Austria-Hungary. The type of warfare that these forces were put through was treacherous. The trench warfare is thought to be the most gruesome type of warfare that there has ever been. They basically lived in these trenches with worries of gunshot and enemy attacks throughout the night. The weapons weren't so good either. The main weapon used by the British soldiers in the trenches was a bolt-action rifle. 15 rounds and a person 1,400 meters away could be killed, but it took a whole minute to be fired. Then there was the machine guns, which needed 4 to 6 men to work, and they had to be on flat surface or they would jam. But they did have the firepower of 100 guns. Then there were the larger machine guns, or field guns. They had a long range and could deliver devastating blows to enemies, but they needed 12 men to work. Now for the mobile support of World War I. World War I had blimps for the early parts of the war, used as an airship that was used on bombing raids by the Germans. They were also used to carry machine guns and bombs to troops, but they were abandoned because they were so easy to shoot out of the sky. Then there were the tanks. They were developed to cope with the conditions of the Western Front, and they were used at the Battle of the Somme for the first time. The first tank was called Little Willie and needed a crew of 3 people. Its maximum speed was 3 miles per hour and it could not cross trenches. Then the planes, which were used for the first time in World War I as well. They were used to deliver bombs and for spying work, but became fighter aircraft soon after developed, equipped with machine guns, bombs, and sometimes cannons. Lastly, there were torpedoes that were used by German submarines to blow up ships carrying supplies from America to Britain. Although the Canadians were not one of the major countries that participated in the war, but they did play a big part to help the Allies to victory. The biggest battle that the Canadians fought was the Battle of Vimy Ridge. The Canadian Corps, on the morning of April 9, 1917, attacked the German stronghold position at Vimy Ridge. The ridge, located 10 kilometers north of Arras in northern France and just south of the mines and factories of Lens and Lille, was a high ground that commanded the entire sector. The Canadian Corps, containing a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Divisions, united for the first attempt, over 100,000 men. They were attempting to do what the British and French had tried to do from 1914 to 1916. Their attack was not successful, but the Canadians did otherwise. They took Vimy Ridge and gave the Allies a great lookout for the entire range of the land around it. At the end of the war, the casualties racked up, the Ottoman Empire suffering the most casualties, with around 5 million casualties. But casualties were not the only thing that was the major cause from the war. The money that was spent by each country was what led to the Great Depression. The largest amount of money spent by one country during World War I was Germany, with over $37 billion, with Great Britain coming in at a close second with over $35 billion. This war was a waste of money and a waste of human life, and I hope nothing like this will ever happen again.